What is up, guys? It's MightyMidget back again, and welcome to a long-awaited video of me and my car again. It's been a while. Now, camera might look a little bit funny. That's because I actually have a new phone. I wasn't able to do any recordings for quite some time because my old phone I couldn't actually record at all, and if I tried to, it just kind of would die, and I had no battery. Alright, before I jump into the start and before the no, English not going to piss my brain, before I run out of sunshine because it's like, what, 5:30 and we're going to get dark like in a minute. It's just not fair, man. What I'm going to be doing for this video is I'm actually going to be installing a brace. That's the one I was looking for. So I'm not going to hesitate because I haven't got much time as it is. I'm going to pop the hood. Fast and Furious cube somewhere or other. And we're going to get that installed. It should literally take about 15 minutes. I'm hoping it won't get too dark by the time I'm done. Okay, so to attach your front brace to the car, it basically attaches on with these 3 points here and those 3 points on here. I've just realised the flashlight system on my car is on for my phone is on for some reason, so everything's super bright. This could be handy for the video. But basically, all 3 of the points are going to pivot onto here and there, and they are on each one there. That's going to need a bit of adjusting so that it fits like a glove. And I might have to move the battery terminals a little bit and even this bit here, but I'm going to find out as I attach it. If I need to, I might just give up, to be honest. So what you're going to need to actually do to loosen off the bolts, you're going to need a 12mm bit, socket bit, to undo it, and that should see you through. Quickly as well as that, before you inquire about the stickers on the side of the car, I'd say that's about the track show that I went to quite a while back. I'll fill you in about that at the end of the video. Right, so the bolts are off and they look simple. I've got some mysterious red paint going on here, and yeah, the bolts are off. Unpack that, we'll get it in place. We'll tinker around a bit until it's actually fitting in the engine bay at a good size. It's nice and tight and it's not wiggling and wobbling about the place, so it's actually nice and sturdy and doing its job. Then I can shut the hood and go and have a coffee. Okay, so that's all tightened up now, all there in place and everything, at least as tight as I can get it. There's these little butticordies in here which I'm going to have to revisit. I'm a little bit unsure about them, but I'm going to have to revisit them. I'm actually not able to start my car for a couple of days. Monday is when I next be driving, but by then I should hopefully have it sorted. But I found that these are to be tightened with with a 14mm socket, as tight as pos. And then these I actually found this kinky, cheapy little sack of shit. And he did the job, so good shot. Okay, so now all I got to do then is the bolts that I took off at the beginning of the video, I've got to get them back in place. Hopefully that should really hold it down in place. The ultimate test I'll do is I'll just grab this and shake it quite firmly. Hopefully I should do the job, and then I've got myself a brace bar for my Celica. Alright, so what I've done is I've basically taken it back out again, and I've now got it to the desired length of which I feel it needs to be from each axle point, if that's what you want to call it. I know my car terminal, just shut the hell up. But basically all I want to do now is I want to tighten up so it's absolutely sturdy, as it should be. Get it back in the car and then actually fix it down with the bolts that was already there in the car, and then hopefully we should be good to go. 15-minute job, which has taken me half hour because this is no excuse, it's me. So what the rod is tightening now, there are these points here. You've got these 2 here which need to be tightened, and then there's these ones here which need to be tightened. As you can see, it just needs a little bit more, and that needs to be done each time I tighten it, and then I can get it back in place. Alas, I have now in fact come to the conclusion that I have indeedly fucked up. Basically, what I've done, I haven't done anything bad, but what I have done is I've misjudged this, and this actually needs to be extended just a little bit more, because what there is like this little ring, which, as you can see, this just needs to sit round, and it's just a little bit too short. So I need to undo this, find that socket which I throw over here, undo this, just pull it, maybe unwind it 2-3 times so that it sits within that ring. Should secure it much better. Right, sorted. I love doing this finger expression thing, don't I? So it's like actions all over again. Right, resolved it. All I had to do was, again, just loosen this off, unwind it once, and hopefully now, as you can see, there's the this little seam line which it sticks around. So these now need a full tighten. I'm going to tighten them probably about as tight as they were, and then hopefully this, well, it's a little, ooh, actually, ooh, she does need a bit more of a tighten, not going to lie. You can hear that. Yeah, she needs a bit more of a tighten, so I'm going to have to definitely work on that. Okay, so after nightfall has finally fallen, or near enough nightfall, it's dark already, leave me alone. But alas, it is actually in now. It has secured a little bit better, but you can see it still wants to move a little bit, so I'm definitely going to tighten that up. But alas, that is it. It is in the car, and I'm going to have to flush it off when it's a bit more bright because I can't see shit. But basically, again, yeah, it was a tighten with the 3 points here. It actually tightened up more on this side than it did on this side, so I'm probably going to have to slack these off work back on them and do something as a result, try and get it to be a bit more tighter. But the big problem I had a lot of people having with this is the fact that if you have a bigger battery, this gets in the way and you have to actually rotate the terminal so it doesn't get in the way of the brace. Luckily for me, however, I actually have just a small battery, so it's able to just go straight over it. And to be honest, if I want, I can still get myself the aluminium replacement brace here, but I need to measure out what size it is instead of that boring, tacky, shitty looking thing. But that is it for this evening. I shall crack on with the rest of the video for tomorrow. Okay, so before I end the video on for tonight, we've got a problem. You see, this might, that's not it, might be catching on this. Okay, 2 solid days later of actually working on this for a full on 48 hours, we actually have it on. That's me, that's right, I have been working on this for a full 48 hours non-stop. I have been working and battling the stand bees to get it fitting in my car. Okay, so it's now finally on, as you can see, and it actually looks quite a bit lower, which is great. It used to sit up to about there, and now we've dropped it by about, I'd probably say about 8-9 mil, so that it's a little bit more flat. So now it's actually there and everything, it actually sits lower, it goes with the cold air intake with a bit more chrome, and it looks absolutely awesome. I love it to pieces. The bits here for where it sits has flexed quite a bit. Whether or not I've done that too tight, I don't know. If any of you guys can let me know if I have done that, please do let me know. But from the looks of things, personally, I think that maybe a set of washers should go underneath, because there's like these little grooves here. So hopefully it'll still hold us tight. It's definitely, that's not going anywhere. That's absolutely solid. So that should definitely now improve the handling of the car. But from wherever I last left off, where I was at like 9 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock, whenever it was I finished it, it probably wasn't as late as that, but it was late enough for me, okay? I should have been like doing other things. Yeah. But that's like basically once it was all done, if I can remember from where I left off correctly, I had it all done, and once it was all tampered with to size, you basically just needed to pop it back on and tighten the bolts, and that was it. That's all it needed. Good to go down, done. But for me, for some stupid reason, every time I went to go and put it on, as you can see, the bonnet didn't want to shut properly. It just didn't want to actually go into the catch properly, and it just, well, if I did try and shut it down, the bonnet would be sitting too high, and I didn't want to risk it as well. And if I inverted it, then I'd actually have to have taken off the battery tie down, and I didn't really want to do that, considering that this would have been left quite loose, and that's a no in my books. That's also an MOT failure over here in the UK, so let's not do that. That is it for getting the front brace onto the car. The other next issue I wanted to look at was under the car. Never a good sign when you have to go down here. So as you can see, there's a couple of zip ties down here, and there's a little bit of this going on. It's not very good. But kind of the long story short, basically what happened is when I was coming back from tracks, I basically drove 110 miles with this hanging off. Now, me not realising anytime sooner, I just kind of shrugged it off and thought I'd stop at the next service station. Guess who didn't stop at the next service station? So I proceeded to drive all the way from Northamptonshire to where I live, to then get home to the little last stretch of my road, and I know exactly what it was. Got literally about a mile away from my house, looked under the car as soon as I got out of it after my long drive, and found this was hanging off. So that is why it's in a bit of a state, and there's a couple of cable ties. Now, whilst I'm on the subject of tracks and how absolutely fucking incredible it was, not only was I on stand with a club called Car Girl Culture, yes, Car Girl Culture, you read that correctly, girls only club, nah, guys as well. Whilst I was there at tracks in Silverstone, I picked up this Japanese kanji decal, which I finally now got something. I thought there's a bloody jet wash in that. Fuck you! So yes, whilst I was at tracks again, I picked up this kanji decal here. As I said, I always wanted a decal to go on the front of my car. I was always thinking of getting like a banner to go across the front, but after I kind of saw this, after wandering around at the last place when I was cold and bored and just getting, yeah, let's be honest, I was getting cold and bored. I saw this one here and I thought, you know what, actually, I think sideways looks quite cool, because you get like the Because Citroen or the Because Toyota or the other ones that you get down the side. I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to go with the Japanese kind of writing and kind of go hand in hand with that. So yeah, not only am I now wrapping a track sticker on my car, but I've also repping one for Car Girl Culture. Right, also, in regards to what's going on, the videos are going to be coming to a little bit of a break at the moment, because as the car show season has officially ended, it's going to be getting a bit slower on the car. The next big modification, which I think you guys will all agree which my car definitely needs, are coilovers. Because to be honest, I have a feeling like I actually hide a body in those wheel arches. And because a lot of you will know how expensive coilovers are, there is going to be a big gap in between the time of when I do this video and to when I get them. Probably about 5 to 6 months to be completely honest, because the ones I'm looking at are about £820. The ones I'm looking at are the Meister R coilovers, but then again my opinion could change. I would go for the TNs, but I don't know if I can quite fork out £1,000 for a set of coilovers. That'd be a bit too much for me. The Meister R's are probably the ones that I'm going to go for. There's something about them, the way the car sits, that I just really like. The overall reviews for the Meister R coilovers are just fantastic overall. So it's going to be about 5 months maximum until I can actually get them on the car, because I need to do a lot of saving in the meanwhile to actually be able to afford and get them installed to the car. But within that time alone, I will be able to get small things done to the car, so whenever I do something basic or whatever, I can of course do a video and get it installed onto the car for you and show you guys how to do it and keep you updated on what's going on with the Celica. But going on about the shows as well, of course I attended the Lancing Motor Show down in, well, Lancing, and I also attended tracks at Silverstone, and although I would have vlogged them for you guys, the current phone I had at the time, which was my Sony Xperia Z5 Premium, although I would have recorded for you guys, I should really stop doing the hand gesture, shouldn't I? I would have recorded the events for you guys, but the fact that my phone had a lot of battery issues at the time, and the fact the power button died, if the power button died, the power button didn't die, the battery died. No, hang on, that's not even right. The side buttons of the phone died, that's the one. So making the side buttons of my phone not working means I couldn't use my volume buttons, my camera button, or my power button, so if my phone actually died, that was it, game over, the phone was completely gone. So as much as I would have loved to have vlogged for you guys, I really couldn't, because I couldn't afford to lose my phone, to be honest, and considering as well that I was actually away up north for a little while, which is quite a while away from home for me, I couldn't afford to become phoneless, so I'm afraid that the only footage I actually got was me driving at about 5 o'clock in the morning up the M25, just past Cobham Services, and that's about it. Sorry. But with this boring rant gone and over, I'm actually going to end this video here, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you guys ever so much once again for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then please, you know the usual, you know the deal, do the usuals, and I will see you guys in the next video. If you don't know the usual, subscribe, like, don't share. There's no point sharing this. This is shit. Don't share it. No. Fucking pink Crocs. Pink Crocs. Pure filth.